Hey folks, welcome to the Mediocre Cover Band Guitar Guy. So this evening I've got something somber to talk about, something sad, I guess. Anybody from Conception Bay North that's where I grew up in a small town called Harbor Grace. Right now, who plays music and is of my age, maybe a bit older, and definitely younger, who plays music is probably aware now that CB Music Center is closing its doors for good as of August 31st, and that's really too bad. Now, I'm off work today. It's like one of these civic holidays. I'm not quite sure what it is. Um, we got it today at work, and I'm happy about that. Don't get me wrong. Still not sure what it is. And it's also a day because we didn't get Regatta Day on Wednesday, so we took a long weekend, which is awesome. But I drove over today not realizing that it was a civic holiday over there as well, and it was closed, which kind of sucks. But I'm going to try to get back over just to go in and have a fun look at the place, maybe. Hopefully you get to speak with Keith a little bit. So, and it's really sad because for me, the path that I kind of chose with music, this store was a big part of all that in my development going forward in music. And reason being is that, well, and like I said, I grew up in a small town, Harbor Grace. We did have a music store there, but it was very small, and they had very limited product. Like you could go in and get your dressers and furniture sanded and refinished as well, and go buy like a guitar. Not great guitars. They sold a lot of Yamaha stuff, low end stuff. Nothing wrong with Yamaha. They make great gear. I got a really lovely Yamaha acoustic, so don't think I'm bashing Yamaha. I'm not. But like that's basically all you were getting. I think they bought in a couple Squires at the end of it, or they had a used one there. I'm not even sure. But anyway, so we had CB Music Center in Bay Roberts, which was, in my opinion, for the area we're in, that was a very professional music store. It looked like a music store. You went in, there's racks of guitars, and they had like different brand names. For us who like the pointy guitars, you would go in. They had Ibanez, Jackson, and BC Rich, which was really really cool. And of course, for the other guys who weren't into pointy guitars, you could get Fenders. They sold drum kits, keyboards, same thing with the basses and shit. And they carried Samick, who makes a lot of the bigger corporations' lower end equipment. But anyway, you go in there, you could get pretty much anything you were looking for. They had all kinds of different types of guitar strings. You could get guitar picks, any gauge, any brand name almost, it just wasn't, you weren't going in and getting Dunlop nylons, which is what our guitar store had, like with the 73, the gray 73 Keith Richards pick. That was the only thing you get there. So Conception Bay Music, CB Music, whatever the CB stands for, really was far and beyond this place. You know what I mean? Like it was great, and we would go up as kids and hang out there, and it's where other musicians hung out. So you'd go up and listen, you go up and talk, and get advice. And I've told the story about this gentleman before who tragically lost his life in an industrial accident just a couple of years ago. Gerard Drover. Gerard was a bassist who played in a few bands home, and we all looked up to him. He would give you advice, and a lot of the things that I cover on this channel, the foundation of that and everything was from him and from being in that store. We'd also go up and musicians, like we had two of the bigger clubs in the area, the Coach House and the Pirates Cave. They would bring bands in from like Nova Scotia, and we would talk to them. We would, sort of pick their brains to what they were playing, what their set lists, blah blah blah. How the hell do you get booked from Nova Scotia? Like, you're playing in Halifax. How do you get to a small town? Oops, in Harbor Grace. You know what I mean? Or sorry, Newfoundland. How do you get to Harbor Grace? Like, and they explained all that to us. So a lot of our knowledge came from that store being where we all met. Like, just Gerard gave me advice. Like, he was the one that first told me he'd seen us play, and he's like, "You guys got to start, finding the key for your singer's voice." And I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about? Like, if you change the chords, you're not playing the song right." And then it was like, "No, you're playing the song right. You're playing the same structure. You're just playing it in a different key. You're still playing, the one chord, the four chord, the five chord, or whatever. It's just in a different key. Or you're playing a minor. That's a different, instead of playing a D minor, you might have to play an F sharp minor, just as an example." So anyway, those things are things that are paramount to anybody playing music, and that's where we got it from. I know my folks hauled a lot of equipment out of that place for me when I was growing up. My dad had a Mansfield acoustic, which I featured in a video a while ago. "Do you still have your first guitar?" That's right here, actually, right there. And my second, when I learned some chords, my second guitar, because I wanted an electric, because that's what most kids want, and I was about 12, was a Saga Strat copy. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever when I got it. And I got, excuse the chair again, I got a Roland Spirit 25 amp, practice amp. That's all I had, and a cable, and shitty guitar picks. So anyway, that I didn't get there, that were at home already. But anyway, I went home, and my parents went out for the evening to friends of theirs, and I drove my sister absolutely fucking crazy because I started just noodling around. Everything was on 10 on the amp, and even the reverb, and it was really bad reverb. Sorry, Roland, but it was really bad reverb. And but I thought, like, because it had a master volume and a regular volume, I could get to overdrive. Like, I thought, man, like, I'm here. Like, this is it. Tomorrow I'm gone. But I was going to be like a 12-year-old junior high school dropout. But anyway, then I think I graduated to, it was a company called Quest. I had an Attack 10 by Quest. It was like a Kramer Beretta copy, and had a cheap Kahler type of locking tremolo system on it. And then I upgraded to an Ibanez EX, and then an Ibanez RG model, and then an Ibanez Roadstar model from those guys. And then I moved away, and that was that for me. I visited the store sometimes when I got back. When I got back home, in certain times of the year or whatever, I'd drop in if they were open. But I'm really sad to see that it's closing, and for whatever reason, I don't know, and I'm not going to surmise to why it's closing. I don't know if it's just that, right now the economics with the way that that whole climate is going right now. I don't know if it's just the owner Keith is not going to keep it open because owning a business is like being married to it. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I just wanted to say to Albert, Keith, and Gerard, thank you very much for everything. Appreciate you guys when when we were all younger, for having somewhere to go and get the things that we needed, and for the knowledge we took out of there, and letting us take guitars off the wall when we were 15 and 16 and plug them in and play them, and come over and talk to us about how great the guitar was without trying to sell it to you, because you know we had no fucking money. We were 15, and pull another. You know, Keith would pull every guitar in. You got to try this one. You got to try this one. You know. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the guitars. I'm, like I said, really sad to see you guys go. Tried to get over today. I'm hoping to get over again. And I got these things, man. My dad gave me a toolbox about 20 years ago that he'd had when he got to the point where he wasn't going to be using any of these things again. And anyway, when I went through it, there was a drawer. It was just full of all old bolts. You know how men get when they get older, like they've got either a bucket in their garage of nails and bolts and screws, or they got like a drawer in their tool, because it was a big toolbox, right? And I went through the nuts and the bolts, and found this thing. I don't know how well you're going to see it. It's a CB Music Center pick that I found and I kept as a keepsake. And my dad bought one of these guitars. Well, my mom bought it for him for Christmas, and it came with like a little purple velvet bag in the case, and there were 12 of these in there, and I remember these. So this was from back in 1989, right here. I would say that pick here, man, came from about 86, because it's warped as hell, and you know, just whatever. There's no logo, it's just writing on it. So I'm glad I got those now. I'm probably going to do something with this one, just as a keepsake, like I said, because the store meant a lot to me when I was younger. And so that's it. So once again, guys, I'm really sorry to hear that you're closing. Thank you for everything, and good luck with the future.